Hey everyone, everybody, clearing. Okay, preparing for today's reading, I was feeling guided to pull cards on what topics of conversation are the divine masculines wanting to or wishing they could bring up with the divine feminine in this energy at this time. So that can be what might need to be addressed. Elephants in the room. It could be innovations and, collaboration energy. It could be, you name it. Let's see what we get. So what would the divine masculines bring up to the divine feminines to talk about if they could bring up a topic? Wow. So literally, they've been thinking about their actions and the way they've been looking at this whole dynamic and coming up with some insight on how they have conducted themselves and how they could possibly have done things differently. This is not an apology energy. Oh, I have to say that. It's more of a recognition and a curiosity about how you might view that. Like if they could drop all guard and just say like, hey, I've thought of this. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is this an issue for you? Do you feel this is legit? That kind of energy. Like really they've perceived something and they want to cross-reference with you about that. Let's get some more information. Okay, those. What's at the bottom of the deck? Yeah, because they want to make some changes in the physical, but let's get a little bit more info on what is this. Some impasse regarding too many people being involved, karmic partners, choices, lovers. Potential conflict of some sort, misunderstandings. I'm getting the sense that the divine masculines aren't quite sure that there's just cause for a misunderstanding, but they want to know if some distance they're picking up on from you might have to do with anything that can be cleared up. Okay, anything else? Oh, on the floor. Footstool. Yeah, regarding the Empress. So they want to know if something has, if you've interpreted something a certain way, divine feminine. So they need some clarity based on what they're observing, how they're observing you at this time. They do feel like there's something bothering you. So they don't necessarily have all the answers. I'm hearing that they're not a mind reader. They don't really know what it is, but they can tell there's something different, something remarkable, something you might not be telling them. And they kind of just want to know what that is what I'm getting. So for the divine masculines watching, let's see what your divine feminine might... Yeah, those, okay. What your divine feminine might respond to the idea that there could be something that's making your divine feminine uneasy in some way. Potential. So you do have the potential to bring this up to your divine feminine, divine masculine, and yes, your divine feminine is saying there is some potential for what you're talking about to have happened. And they're not talking about it because they are protecting your connection. They don't want to cause drama. They don't know how to bring it up. Divine masculine. So they're waiting for the potential, the timing to talk about this if it ends up being something down the road. But right now they don't feel it's advantageous to let you in on what this is. It would be more harm than good, I'm hearing. So... interesting, there seems to be something that could be talked about in the collective. I don't feel satisfied with that. What else can we get here? Let's see. How are the divine masculines feeling about this awkward energy they're picking up on? Oh, wow. I'm in so much pain, and I sometimes wonder if you care. So divine masculines are wondering what this means, and they're not sure if they should be concerned or alarmed or triggered by this. It's a very uneasy energy. So how would they kind of want you to reach out, divine feminine, and volunteer whatever it is? What would the divine feminines say to the divine masculines that are wondering what this is about? I'm addicted to you in the reverse. So divine feminines are trying not to overcompensate, I'm hearing. I actually laughed because I heard not appear like a crazy person. Oh my gosh, divine feminines. So they're trying to utilize self-control, divine masculines, and so I'm getting the sense that your divine feminine would like you to draw them out for once. I'm hearing to care enough, if you're wondering if they care, to ask to draw your feminine out. Anything else, divine feminines? I want you to choose. Yeah, that stood straight up. So divine masculines, your divine feminines are suggesting that if you really want to know, you'll ask. And for whatever reason, it's a protective motion that the divine feminines don't want to add insult to injury or create harm in the connection, I'm getting. And so there does seem to be something that your divine feminine doesn't know how to talk to you about. Oh, I just got that your divine feminine might think that you're too fragile to handle it, or to be safe without it escalating into an intense situation, to talk to and really get to the bottom of it without being avoidant, dismissive, or defensive, I just heard. So yeah, we're really getting into some interesting energy there. Okay, let's skip on to the daily divine masculine reading. So what is it, divine creator, that we can see? How are the divine masculines thinking about this connection? We're going to go into how the divine feminines are also thinking about it, because there does seem to be something that's ready to come to the surface. I'm going to see if we can get into it a bit more. But first off, let's do divine masculines. So what are the divine masculines thinking about the connection, feeling on the heart space for their divine feminine? What are they feeling or wishing for? What actions are being taken? What is the challenge at this time? What is the spirit guided solution for that challenge? And where is the connection going in the near future? Okay, so what are the divine masculines thinking about the connection? Yeah, they're feeling the distance. They are feeling the separation. They're feeling their feminine is kind of cold right now. I'm hearing it's been too long. Should I send a search party? So some divine masculines might be wanting to send out a page, a messenger, a friend to check in on. Ooh, I heard for some they're going to have their children contact you, if that applies. Never had that message before, but pages can represent that. Or a messenger. So, you know, literally messenger messages and that sort of a thing. They may... I heard fake profiles. Divine masculines, do you really do that? I actually heard that this time. I've never channeled that before, but somebody out there, your divine masculine, has a fake profile and is sending you a message through Messenger. So yeah, they're really kind of checking up on you, or wanting, they're wanting some sort of a explanation of why there seems to be an unusual distance or coldness. Oh, what are the masculines feeling on the heart space? Oh, trapped and powerless. Why? They're Empress again here. Divine feminines, they are really starting to feel the separation. They are really starting to miss you, or remark to themselves that there is a discrepancy. There's an anomaly in the matrix. So yeah, divine masculines are noticing that it's a little bit unusual how yeah, look at these cards. They're just desolate. There's a desolate energy here. Okay, what are the divine masculines wishing at this time? Seven of Orbs is getting rid of shady behavior, lightening the load, clearing the conscience. Seven of Cups is confusion, you know, lots of options. Not too, yeah, it can be overthinking. It's like a little bit of a desire to get to the bottom of it, but kind of acting busy, making changes. I think the divine masculines, you have a little bit of a hunch what this distance is about, and this kind of does seem to suggest you know some steps you could take to ease the burden in this situation, but at the same time you may not have full confidence on what that is what I'm getting here. So wishing to do something to alleviate the strain. Interesting energy. So what actions are being taken? Wow, Five of Orbs. These cards are like kind of ominous, but again, this is the first card that came up. Divine masculines were saying that they understand that there have been some choices made, the way they've been looking at this connection, the way that they've been conducting themselves. And we see it again here, the Five of Orbs, juggling. Look at this person, or this figure is actually juggling. What? Third parties. So there's something about other energies, whatever this heard guilty conscience is, or you know, something that hasn't been talked about, this misunderstanding that we got. There's an elephant in the room, and it may just have to do with a third party. Divine masculines are wishing to uncomplicate things, but they're feeling a little trapped and powerless. They don't know how to approach this. They're not sure. They're wishing for you to do it, divine feminine. They're wishing for you to, I heard, come clean with what it is. I heard it's driving me mad. Okay, so what is the biggest challenge at this time? The Five of Swords for a third time. Like, we can't get more obvious than this. Everybody, divine masculines, you are really understanding that your free will choices have created an imbalance here. Karma, literally, divine masculines, you are wanting to talk about the karmic impasse that has been affecting your twin connection. I'm getting the divine masculines higher selves are correcting me right now, and coming in, kind of hijacking this reading in a way and saying, I mean, you're welcome here, divine masculines, higher selves, thank you for coming through. Please do clarify. So the challenge here is doing this in a way that doesn't place blame on everyone, I'm hearing, or anyone, that is more amicable, that looks at it as developmental stages and not blame. Yeah, thank you, divine masculines. That it is tense. I'm picking up on a lot of collective anxiety about the elephant in the room kind of things. This shallow victory energy of the Five of Swords that we've seen 3 times here. There is a really sincere asking from the divine masculines to meet at a round table about this, so that it can truly be worked through. I'm hearing, if I had known better, don't you think I would have done better? And in that, it's like, I don't want to apologize because I didn't know what I was doing, or that you were taking it that way, or that I was coming across that way. Okay, so at risk of those sounding like a lot of excuses, I am feeling like there is a bit of a struggle here to know what the consensus is in these karmic situations regarding what has been coming between the twins at this particular stage of the journey. What is the spirit guided solution? 5 of Flames. This is a card that came out also with too many people being involved. This is all of the extra, karmic partners. It doesn't need to be romantic, but it can be. All of the beliefs and paradigms, the imprinting, it can be so many things, but the lack of balance. So divine masculines that are in this sort of throw me a bone kind of energy, keep doing the work. Spirit guidance here is keep looking at how you've manifested karma in your life from imbalance, and how it's a chicken and an egg, how one precedes the other. And I mean, wounded people handed you wounded templates, and so you have eyes to see and ears to hear, and you are the magician that can work the puzzle. You are the alchemist that can pull the gold out of these situations. Divine masculine, that's your spiritual advice here, is take a good hard look at the karmic patterns, the inconvenient things, the elephants in the room, the things that you're not saying out loud, the obvious things that need to be just observed openly with your feminine at that round table. But do the investigation to really look at those things in your own energy, so that you can demonstrate your enlightenment over it, and so that you can see where you are needing to accept accountability, and also where you in fact are likely blameless in certain situations that might be falsely assumed to the contrary. So really don't be afraid to look at the depths of these impasse energies, divine masculine, and be clear on not, just as you've asked the divine feminines not to place blame, be really clear on accountability then, so you can bring that, I'm hearing vindication, to the table. Where are the connections going? 7 of Crystals and the Emperor. The Emperor in the reverse for me is always relinquishing control dynamics, and here is a masculine with head in hands, knowing this old foundation needs to fall and it's only a matter of time. So in this case, this can be 2 things. It can be the karmic world that the masculines are wanting to leave in the name of a higher love, this higher connection eventually, and also drop the control. But this is also the stubborn pride, the no-go zone, the silence that is stopping progress because they're trying to control uncomfortable energy, not wanting to have a drama, not wanting to create more intensity than is beneficial. So we've got that message from both sides here, that the divine feminines are protecting the status quo in the connection, and so are the divine masculines. I'm gonna go really quite deep here with the Starseed Oracle. This is, I get a lot of questions in the comments about this deck. This is found on Etsy. It's the Starseed Oracle by Wizard Azanon, and it's an independent project that you can purchase through Etsy. They are really stunning frequency cards. So let's see though what we can know about some divine guidance here for this impasse energy between the twins. Let's get some mediation for the twins here. How do we approach this? So for divine feminines, we're getting Chamber of Inspiration, bliss, aspiration, and realization. So divine feminines, when you are hesitant to approach these particular things that are the elephants in the room, just know this is the way that the next steps are realized. You will have to address some of this stuff in safety and communication with clarity and heart and sincerity to go forward and honor all involved. There will be some things that will just need to be said out loud for the record. And it doesn't need to equate to drama. Okay, connective energy, autonomy, amazing. Right on, Adam. This is a noble gas, like non-reaction. This is true diplomacy between the two. So remember, twins, this is a round table. Isn't that stunning how this indicates to me that the divine is saying that it is advantageous, conducive right now for the twins to actually be diplomatic and be able to work some of these puzzles together, that the intensity is and the maturity level is establishing, so that some of these initial stages of union can actually come together and be productive. Self-fulfillment and non-reaction. This is just showing that the twins are all getting into these alignments that are providing for the ability to truly show up and be autonomous in these delicate conversations that get into the inner workings of things. This is an energy that I've called safety in intimacy, and that is mutual respect, honor. It's not the karmic negotiation that escalates into disintegration. This is a new foundation for productive communication and conflict resolution. I'm hearing this is a 33 card, I want to remind. So that is an angelic card, angelic protection. For the divine masculines, we're getting guanine and cystocene, commitment, connection, flexibility, and resolution. So masculines are resolution focused here. Feminines get realization. So I'm also hearing in that, feminines, this is the way to the manifestation that you've been wanting. This is where the reveal happens, where you get to see it. And the resolution here, divine masculines, you're learning that these connections actually do provide success, not like a karmic situation that is on a faulty foundation that does not ever eventuate, is that a word, into a successful outcome. These are based on true connection, and this is a feel-good card that you do truly believe there is success to be had here, and that does indicate maturity and readiness. Okay, I'm also being drawn to the numbers on the cards because this is a 3, half of 33, and there's a 3 on this card, but there's a 6. So the feminines are really needing a co-creator in this. The 6 represents reciprocity, I'm being told. So there's a 3 here and a 3 here, which equals this union space energy. But that 6, the feminines are really not wanting the wool pulled or rug pulled out from under them. They really want to actually get somewhere with communication, with finalizing impasse energy. They don't want to just open the can of worms and have it be non-productive. They want some follow-through. They want to establish something here. They want to see that there has been realization of this connection. I love that word realization because it indicates making something real, but also realizing something mentally is coming to a mutual understanding, realizing it together, making assessment if both have realized the same things. It's just, it's a really meaty word. And the challenge place, soul confidence, reassurance, and source essence. So the challenge is, twins, can you bring in that connection to source here? Can you rely on source as your backbone here and not have to make this a human dispute? Can you utilize that extra augmented energy, the reassurance that can come in, the soul confidence that can come in when this truly becomes a tool and a process of an enlightened conversation rather than something that disintegrates? Can you this is interesting because we're seeing some of the instruction on how to bring in unity consciousness in communication here. This is highly instructional. I mean, for some, you may be saying that this is basic communication skills, but at the same time, with twin dynamics, it's energetically so intense, and it is a slight shift perspective shift into individual autonomy, connection with source, and then utilizing that alignment to collaborate and co-create rather than person to person. It's more of a channeled motion than a typical 3D communication. I'm hearing it's got more innovation and aliveness than a typical, wow, this terminology, a typical traditional human communication. These are new forms of exchange. I'm hearing the term higher sentience. Okay, my dear twin fam jam, much love. Bye for now.